Hello everyone, it's Vitrosity. Welcome back. Today, I've got a different style of video for you. We are going to be talking about the Pokemon Go hack that seems to be making its rounds around the internet, onto YouTube. How do I download this? I've seen so many videos of how to download this hack that basically allows you to go to any location in the world. And as you see on your screen, this is video of me using that hack. I downloaded it, I figured it out, and to be honest, it's actually pretty cool to begin with. But now I'm going to get into it and say why this is going to ruin Pokemon Go, like for all the reasons that it was created. Well, to start with, obviously, you can sit in your house and play this game. This is what makes... this is what's possible with this new hack, is I can be sitting on my couch. Like right now, during this footage, I was sitting on my couch in a small rural town in Wisconsin, right? We have 11 Pokestops in our town. We have 5 gyms in our little town. And I basically tricked my phone into thinking I'm in California, where I can, get 100 Pokestops in the same time it takes me to get, 2 or 3 in my hometown. And I'm catching so many more Pokemon as well. In the 2.5 hours that I originally started playing this, I didn't play it all at once. That's a big battery drain. But for the 2.5 hours that I spent playing this to start, I caught over 100 Pokemon. And the same amount of Pokemon, the amount of time it took me to catch the same amount of Pokemon on my normal account, the one that's legit, it took me weeks. And that's obviously not total game time, but hours, 10, 15 hours to catch 100 Pokemon. And there's nowhere near the variety that I was able to get during this 2.5 hours using this hack. And I got up to level 10 in that 2.5 hours. I just don't understand how Niantic is letting this happen, because this is going to ruin the game, because you are going to allow people to be able to cheat their way up through the ranks to get the higher Pokemon, take over the gyms, and then just control their area. Now, I have heard of Niantic handing out, soft bans, for a couple of hours or maybe a day to people that they catch using this. And that's obviously a good thing, but it's just an hour or a day where they're just going to go right back to it. And there's new versions of this hack coming out all the time with every new update. So it's not like they can, completely get rid of it. And that brings up another question I have, is how are these, the hack developers doing this? Because they have to somehow access the Pokemon Go servers to get all the Pokemon information and, all this other stuff. I don't know how they do that. If someone knows, please tell me, because I am completely lost when it comes to that kind of stuff. So now I want to switch gears and kind of talk a little bit about how this is going to actually help if they somehow implemented this correctly into the game for those people that live in a small town like me. Like I said, I have 11 Pokestops in my little town, and there are hundreds in the San Francisco's place, so I'm at a disadvantage if I were to go to some other big town, so Madison or something like that, the capital of Wisconsin, or even up to La Crosse there on the border between Minnesota and Wisconsin. If I go to one of those places, I'm at a severe disadvantage because I've not caught a lot of Pokemon, I've not caught a variety of Pokemon, and I'm not a high level compared to everyone else around in the area. Now, it doesn't affect me in my town where I'm at, because everyone's in the same boat here. But if I go someplace else, when I go to college, it's going to be a lot harder for me to do anything up there, because I'm not going to have the experience and the leveled up Pokemon in order to be able to take over gyms and help my team out. So it'd be really cool if they could somehow figure out a way to kind of even it out for those people that are kind of at a disadvantage because of the lower Pokemon spawn rate of their, the small towns and, all this other stuff. People who live out in the country. I actually live out in the country, so I'm not in town. I have to physically go into my town to, walk around, or me and my brother and sister ride our bikes around usually. And that's what we do to get, all of the Pokestops and catch Pokemon. We have to do that. We can't catch any out where we live. So maybe this is the start of something good, in the fact that maybe this can help Niantic kind of shed light on how to fix the problem of, the balancing. Now, how that's going to work, I don't know, because if you have it the way that this is set up, where, you can just press buttons to walk, then, it's not going to do much for anyone, because it's still not achieving what it was meant to achieve, and that's to get people out and get people active, interacting with their environment, and to interact with each other, because that's the one thing that I've noticed too, even in, the small town where I live. I drive past people who are looking at their phone on the sidewalk, and I think instantly, oh, they're playing Pokemon. And I think that's one of the coolest things now too, is that there are kids from all ages. I see, little kids as young as maybe like 10, 11, 12, because every kid has smartphones nowadays. They're sitting there walking on the sidewalk playing, and, while I'm riding my bike past them, I'm sitting here, I'm going to be 21 in a week, and I'm sitting here playing Pokemon. And it bridges the gap of that, that generation, that, my generation and, what would it have been? Maybe 5 years before, my generation that I grew up in. We were the Pokemon generation that kind of started it out, and it took off in the, starting off in 99 and, accelerating through the 2000s. So that's another thing too, is that I wanted to bring up, is that this game has brought so many different generations together, old and young, and given them a common ground in order to enjoy video games and enjoy the great game of Pokemon, and to bring all the people that have kind of grown up and, put it in the backside of their lives, put it in the rearview mirror, but now they can go back and revisit that. And I just recently pulled out my Pokemon cards. I've started playing all of the little Game Boy Advance games that I've got of the Pokemon, and all that stuff. And it's just really great to have that nostalgia of going back and reliving your childhood days. So that's all I've got for you today. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, go ahead, put your thoughts down in the comments below. Please keep it clean, though. I don't want it to be a battlefield down there. Go ahead and like the video as well if you enjoyed this style of video. I plan on doing more of these in the future coming up. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss a single video. Follow me on Twitter as well. And I will see you in the next video. Vitrosity out.